if I said the House of Commons has gone wild, it has. There is an atmosphere of acrimony in the House right now, especially between Trudeau and opposition leader Pierre Poilievre, that is tangible. It's palatable. There is an incredible hostility between these two men. And I would say it's largely because Trudeau is continuing to be his arrogant, dismissive self, and he thinks he is above democracy and above the law at times. And clearly, this is not washing well. But I want you to watch this exchange, because this is really quite incredible. You rarely see this kind of argument, debate in the House where the opposition leader goes right after an area of incredible weakness in Trudeau, and that's his private life and the things he's done, and the things he's run away from. God knows there's been much of that. He's run away from a blackface scandal, even as he continues to label all of his opponents as racist. He's had run-ins with female MPs and cabinet ministers, even as he pretends everybody else is misogynistic and he's a proto-feminist. He continues to run from those worst case moments in his private and his political career. So I think it's quite interesting that Pierre Poilievre brought this up the other day.
How many of Beijing's police stations are operating on Canadian soil today? How many?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
You well know, and as Canadians well know, this government takes extremely seriously the issue of foreign interference, and has since 2015, when we brought in significant measures to counter foreign interference, and continue to. The RCMP is quite rightly charged with the responsibility of investigating and following up on these reports of Beijing-funded police stations. But indeed, if the Leader of the Opposition is so curious...
The Right Honourable Prime Minister, I just want to remind everyone, the way it works is you ask a question and then you listen to the answer, whether you like it or not. You can't.
So you'll note that Trudeau has not answered that question. He's not acknowledging what is now fact, that the Communist Chinese were operating their own police stations in Canada.
Keep asking the question over and over again while the person's speaking. So I just want to point that out. I'll let the, maybe 30 seconds, we'll bump it up. We won't take the full amount, but the Right Honourable Prime Minister, please.
Mr. Speaker, if the Leader of the Opposition continues to have questions like many Canadians do on foreign interference, I would suggest that he actually takes up our security agencies on the offer they have made to him of getting briefed up on all the intelligence related to foreign interference, so he doesn't have to hide behind, and I quote the report on this, a veil of ignorance, and can actually work from the facts.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
The Prime Minister can brief all Canadians right now. These are police stations that exist to harass and intimidate Canadian citizens on Canadian soil. No real country would allow a foreign dictatorship to run police stations on its soil. Yes. The Americans are arresting Beijing's agents in their country. So one last time, I'll give the Prime Minister the chance to answer the question. How many police stations, how many, and how many is Beijing operating on Canadian soil?
Here's the problem with the Leader of the Opposition.
Now we've got another exchange coming up here on the carbon tax between Trudeau and Poilievre. And the best is yet to come, folks. It's the one after this, but this is good.
He is in love with the sound of his own voice and his own attacks, but he doesn't actually check the facts.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister, from the top, please.
Mr. Mr. Speaker, here's the issue with the Leader of the Opposition, who's so in love with the sound of his own voice that he doesn't actually check the facts. Mr. Speaker, he's talking about our price on pollution when the reality is BC has its own price on pollution. The federal backstop doesn't even apply in BC. He is mixing everything for political arguments, for partisan attacks to try and scare Canadians, and to cover for the fact that he has no plan to fight climate change and therefore has no plan for the future of the Canadian economy.
Yeah, it got really personal here, because Poilievre really struck back, and this, as I said, this rarely ever happens in Canada.
So the high school drama teacher over here accuses others of liking the sounds of their own voices. This from a guy who, if he were made of chocolate, he would eat himself. But we don't want him to do that until after he answers my question, which I keep asking. It's about the cost of groceries in BC and everywhere else. Now, he's right. The NDP has already put in a carbon tax there, but he wants to force them to increase it by almost 40 cents to 61 cents a litre, a federally imposed tax by the costly coalition of the Liberals and NDP. How much will it add to the cost of groceries for the average family? How much?
Honourable Prime Minister.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I was a high school teacher before getting into politics, and I'm having a little trouble remembering what exactly the job that the Leader of the Opposition had before getting into politics. Mr. Speaker, we have a plan to fight climate change. We have a plan to continue to move forward on supporting Canadians with a grocery rebate, with a growing economy, with great middle-class jobs. We're delivering health care supports for Canadians from coast to coast to coast, delivering dental care that has helped 300,000 kids access dental care over the past number of months, including 1,100 in his own riding. Mr. Speaker, we will continue to be there for Canadians.
Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Yes, and he left right in the middle of the semester, and I'm having trouble remembering why. Now, Mr. Speaker. He certainly wasn't a math teacher. He certainly was not a math teacher. His own finance minister says the deficits pour fuel on the inflationary fire, right before she introduced $60 billion more deficit spending measures. How much will that add to the inflation rate Canadians have to pay? How much?
We wake up to the fact that we are marching through a historic moment. And I think that's what this exchange really reveals, is that if there was any degree of respect for this prime minister, it is fast vanishing. And I think that exchange, Mr. Poilievre was referring to an incident at the last school that Justin Trudeau taught at as a drama teacher. And there was some allegations of some wrongdoing going on, either with a parent or a child. And we're not quite sure what happened. But of course, as with everything, Trudeau manages to just be completely elastic when it comes to scandal. And he avoids any of this sticking to him. Like he truly has been a Teflon prime minister with so much personal baggage. I hope you're enjoying this channel as much as I enjoy putting the material on here. This is not just about politics. I sing some of my favorite songs from the Great American Songbook. And you can also watch my latest show where we do some of the news you're not going to hear anywhere else. But please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. If you want to be part of this station, please be a subscriber. We want you.